Hello, everyone, and welcome to Does It Toggle, a live coding stream with the DevCycle team. My name's Andrew. I am your DevCycle Developer Advocate Extraordinaire, and excited to have you with me today for our first ever Does It Toggle stream. If you're just happening upon this stream and you are asking yourself, what Does It Toggle and why would DevCycle need a live coding stream? Well, I'm here to tell you that right now. So Does It Toggle is a stream where you get to struggle along with me as we attempt to explore some different ways that DevCycle, which is a feature flag management platform, can be integrated into some really cool open source projects. And I should say the struggle is more with me as a developer and less with the awesome software that is DevCycle. As you're going to see, we are really excited for this stream. There's some really cool stuff that we're about to start looking at. But I noticed that our viewers just popped up. So welcome everyone to the stream. Super excited to have you here. Super excited that people have decided to tune in and watch me see if I'm able to do some live coding on stream. And if you're here, if you're listening, if you're in chat, let me know, how's the audio, how's the video, how is everything feeling right now with our Does It Toggle stream? Are you feeling good? Are you feeling okay? Oh, there we go. Hey, there we go. Getting some love from getting some love from chat. Brilliant, fantastic. So feeling bonita. Thank you, Kate. So we're gonna kind of jump right into things because I think that the thing that we've definitely been missing here on the DevCycle Twitch channel is some live code content. And so I want to kind of jump right into the code. But in order to do that, we need to talk about exactly what code we're doing today. So for anybody that follows me on Twitter, you'll know that I put out a tweet, I think last week, that was looking at what framework, what open source tool to sort of focus on for our first Does It Toggle. And it's interesting because I put out React and I put out Laravel. I'm a PHP developer. If I'm any kind of developer, I'm a PHP developer. And React won, and I was like, oh, that's great, but I don't love React, even though I do a lot of stuff with React. And so I went on a search for something that might be fun that was in PHP and kind of gave some love. And I ended up finding this really cool framework called Leap PHP, which we're going to look at today. And I'm going to explain why it's really cool. I'm also going to try and upsell all of y'all on PHP on this stream, and definitely will be upselling you on DevCycle. So let's, I'm going to move some screens around so I'm not sharing things I don't want to share. And let's get our, ooh, look at that. There we go. Maybe it was just my computer. I've turned up the brightness and contrast too much on my external monitor. All right, let's go. Share screen. We're just going to share a window for right now. I think we're just going to share this window. So like I said, DevCycle, a feature flag management platform. If you're not sure what feature flags are, there are conditional statements that you put in your code to turn features on and off, allows for continuous delivery, continuous deployment, experimentation, A/B testing, all of the things that you want to be doing as sort of a modern developer team. So today, the focus here is hopefully within the next hour, I'm going to be able to put DevCycle's feature flags inside of some open source code that I found, and we're going to see if it works. And it should. I did some practice yesterday, so I'm hoping that this works. But we shall see. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen because I'm realizing that this is just going to go all over the place unless I share my entire window or my entire screen. Let's go window and we'll see if this works. And I think I'm going to need to share my screen once I get into our actual code, but we're not there yet. So I think we're feeling good. So let's first take a second and talk about PHP. And I just want to take a few minutes here because there's a lot of love, I would say, in the PHP community, but there's also fair bit of like hate out there. And it's interesting, right? Because like, so I as some background, I not a software developer, have always been in love with technology. One of my first jobs after university, even though I did a university degree in forensic science, which has nothing to do with development, was actually got hired at a small nonprofit, and they were like, "Hey, can you build our website for us?" And I built it in like this what was it called? Zara web developer software. Anyways, it was really bad. It was like a WYSIWYG to get in there. And then I discovered WordPress, which I'd already kind of seen before, but I got into it a little bit more. And I was like, oh, this is PHP. And this kind of like, I get this. And then over the years, I've kind of like tried other things, and through different roles and positions, I've gotten to explore different languages. And for some reason, like PHP has just always spoken to me. But I will say, if like you go out there into the world and you say, I love PHP, there's a lot of people that are like, I'm not a big fan. And it's funny because I look at even just sort of if you're not a PHP person and you like go to the PHP website, like the landing page for PHP. All right, so this is like a pretty this is like a very early 2000s looking website from my perspective, and like landing page for a software. Meanwhile, you go to like the landing page for something like Rust, super popular language right now. This is good. I like the like color scheme, right? We got the green, we got the like dark purple, we got like the what is this? I don't even know what I would call this color. Red, not red. It's anyways, reddish. There's a color that I cannot think of. Maroon. And so like you look at this and you look at Go, and like even just the landing page for these are great. You can see all of these different logos, and everybody's using Go and everybody's using Rust, and that's amazing. And so I kind of had like agreed, like, yeah, maybe PHP is a little bit wordy and there's a little bit too much. And then a couple of years ago, I discovered this amazing PHP framework called Laravel. And I would say like Laravel does for PHP what things like Rust and Go kind of do natively. They give themselves like, it's this really easy to use framework. It's albeit a little bit heavy for some use cases. And like, if you're just looking to kind of build something from the ground up in a language, then for sure, like things like Go and Rust are great, depending on your use case, Python as well. But Laravel like changed the game for me in terms of making PHP a little bit more accessible. And so I really love this. I really love this framework. I build a lot of personal projects in PHP, but for today, it was a little bit heavy. Like I needed something that was super light in order to like focus for the stream. Cause I didn't want to like, so if you've never like set up a base project with PHP, it is kind of an ugly language. Like you'll see the things that we're looking at make it look a little bit better. But like if you set up like an index.php file and like serve that, then it does look kind of ugly when you look at the code. And so I wanted something that was a little bit prettier, even if just for on stream. So I did. I put something together, or I found something. I looked around. And so I looked for like PHP frameworks, and there's a lot of them out there. There's things like Slim, which is a PHP framework, and there's things like Symfony that are out there. But I ended up finding one that was really cool called Leaf PHP. And so this is like the slimmest PHP framework that ever have I seen. It's super small to get things off the ground, but like gives you just like all of the basics that you need to kind of get something off the ground really, really quickly. And the developer of this, and I mean, it's a small development team. Like you can see here, like, yeah, there's a lot of contributors, but really like Michael Darko is the creator, and he's the one that's been doing a lot of the work on this. And so it's like one guy building this framework, but that's awesome because they've done a really good job. Like the DX here is spectacular. Everything from like the core projects where you can like get a skeleton or an MVC, like CLIs, UI stuff, like it's just amazing. And then like little things like they have an online playground where you can like go in and basically like play around in a sandbox with this and just like see exactly how it looks. They've also got like tutorials and stuff, and it's all just REPLs and things like that. But it's very, very cool and makes this experience really smooth when you're sort of getting started. So this is kind of where I want to focus, and maybe we'll get to React. I don't think we're going to get to React today, but maybe we will. And I can show you some cool stuff that I've been working on in React for some stuff that we've been doing. But the other reason to focus on PHP is actually if you've been over on the DevCycle website recently. Let me log in on DevCycle. Let me just log in here. You might have noticed that there was an announcement that came up in our changelog, which was our new locally bucketed PHP SDK proxy. Basically, we've been really focused around the PHP SDK. That's unrelated to this. I just love PHP, and I was always going to say amazing things about PHP, and I was going to use the other bucketing that we were using. But because we have this new release, it's also a really good time to kind of show you how everything works and go through the docs and see what happens. And so we're gonna kind of jump into things now. So I'm going to now do a full screen share. And if you are here on stream and you're watching and you're like, Andrew seems like he might dox himself in a minute, please let me know. I'm hoping that I'm not going to, but you never know. All right. Present. Also, if you're in chat, feel free, chat me up. I'm happy. I want to chat with you all. I want to have a chat. So if you are here and you want to ask questions or just contribute or say, Andrew, you're doing this thing in a really bad way, that's what I'm here for. Let's go entire screen over here. Let's pull this up. I want to pull up screen one. There we go. All right. I think you're seeing my entire screen now. So we should be good. And I'm going to get out of this for right now because we need our wonderful resident VS Code up here. I got another project that I was doing. I'm doing an Auth0 project, and Auth0 is amazing because they actually have like a Laravel starter project, so you can actually see how Auth0 works in there. But that's not what we're going to do today. We're actually going to we're going to create a new project. So let's go. Should I create it? I think I'm going to eventually put this on GitHub. So I'm going to just create this in my GitHub folder, and I call it Leaf PHP. Let's call this new folder Leaf, and what are we going to call it? Leaf does it toggle. Ooh, that's long. DIT? Leaf DIT. I dig that. Okay. So let's open that folder here. Open folder. All right. Desktop. Nope. Applications. Let's move this over. Let's not open it in there. That's definitely going to dox myself with some files that I've got there. All right. Let's go and StreamYard. Let's pull that off while I get this loaded up in here. And file. Open. Folder, documents. There we go. Success. Success. Huzzah. All right. Ooh, did I not? Oh, look at that. I didn't even like completely unshare. I just pulled it off. Look at that. I'm so smart. So there we go. We've got VS Code. It's up. It's working. We're there. We made it. This is it. That's the stream. As the resident developer advocate, non-developer, this is as far as I go with my programming. I open VS Code, and therefore I'm a real programmer, right? The answer is yes. Thanks, chat. All right, so let's get a terminal open in here. New terminal. All right. And we're going to head over to, first off, we're actually going to head over to the docs for Leaf. So let's close this down for now. Let's open this up and let's head over to the Leaf docs. Or sorry, docs and docs. I dig it. All right, so let's go get started. So slim and lightweight PHP framework, like I said before, lots of features. There's just like so much like rich information in here. Like I really just, it's so beautiful. Everything about this I love. Even just giving you the backgrounds on like PHP and like what is a framework, and like I don't know, for people out there that might be new, like this is useful information even for any language, but I think this is really helpful. And there's like walkthrough videos and like installation guides and stuff like that, where I think we're actually just going to go into the installation guide because we're going to be installing so we've got Composer already. I'm not going to set up the CLI. I'd like had this idea. Maybe I'll try to set up the CLI and then we'll see if we fail. So like worst case scenario, we're going to see what happens when Andrew tries to install something that he's never tried live on stream. So let's get VS Code open again here. One thing that I definitely dislike about programming on Macs is just like switching screens is a lot harder. All right, so we're gonna try this. We're gonna try and install this global CLI stuff and see if this works. I don't know if it will. I'm a Windows programmer for sure. And so like, it's always fun programming on Mac. But let's see. I know Composer's on here, so we should be good there. And let's see if this installs it. Okay, let's see if we got Leaf now. I didn't find it. Well, there we go. All right. Okay, so we did get it there. There's like some instructions in the docs that actually talk about this. So let's go over into here again. All right, so we talk about the Leaf CLI. I think there's an instruction guide of getting this set up, Leaf CLI. Yeah, so Composer, make sure the place Composer is passed so it's executable. Directory exists in different locations based on your operating systems. Home Composer vendor bin. Could also find out about global installation path, adding Composer path to Linux, e.g. bin, export path, echo path. All right, to get Leaf permanently installed, you need to add your Composer bin, your bash file. All right, ZSH, creating a Leaf app. Let's see if we can do this. All right, GNU could find global bit. Let's do this. Let's make sure this is actually in the right spot. Where are you hiding VS Code? There we go. Whoa, let's make you a little bit bigger than that. And let me know if the text is too small, because I realize on stream it's sometimes hard to see. Ooh, let's see. All right, user, just like Andrew, Composer. Okay, that's in the right spot. Need to add make sure to place system-wide vendor in your path. Home Composer vendor bin. All right. Awesome. All right, make sure to place. All right, now I need to find. I feel like I did this recently. This is always good, right? You're like, I'm going to install this CLI live on stream. And it's not actually going to be about coding. It's just going to be about, can Andrew effectively read documentation? And the answer is not always yes. But if you're watching and you're like, oh, this is definitely how you do what they're saying in the documentation, feel free to chime in. Not that I will be able to see right now because you are not here and I'm on my other screen. But where are we hiding here? There we go. Now you're up there. Nobody. All right, we're not going to watch Andrew struggle through the Leaf CLI. That's going to be a later issue. I feel like I know how to do this. I've done this before, but like not necessarily the funnest thing to watch. And you don't need to, because there's honestly like some really good documentation on how to get it set up without the CLI. So we're actually going to set up the Leaf PHP MVC. So it's like a really good basic MVC. Are we going to do the MVC or are we going to do the skeleton? Let's do the skeleton because it's even lighter. Get started. Let's go. There we go. Composer, create project. Beautiful. All right. Let's go here and paste. Beautiful. All right. See, there you go. You know what though? I'm not here for it. I'm here for the PHP today. So all you React fans, it's not happening. All right, let's see if I think this will install it in. Let's see what this does. I feel as though. It did install it in CD skeleton. All right, let's see what's going on in here. Success. All right, we've got everything that we need in here. So this is like what I love about this. is like, it's super basic, but it gives you all of these things you need sort of as you're going to build things out. And yes, it's like very basic, but if anybody out there's not somebody that does stuff like, I mean, I think we all kind of like the model view controller kind of idea concept here. Yeah, if you're not sure what that is, that's okay, because it's not really the important thing for today. The important thing is that we have a really basic project here. And we also, what is it to start? Start your web server in PHP. Should remember this built-in web server. Where are you hiding here? There we go. Beautiful. All right, so we're actually going to start this web server. Awesome. Get this up and running. All right, so we now have, or should have, if everything has gone according to plan. There we go. Our Leaf framework is up. So here we go. In that very short period of time, despite me struggling with the CLI, we now have our project that is up, it's running, and is ready to have DevCycle added. So this was the easy part, though, I will say that. Maybe that's untrue. Maybe that's untrue. I think that we have a couple of steps that we have to do in the PHP SDK has like an extra step that's in it that we're going to look at. So like this I've made sure is really light because there's one extra step with the PHP SDK. But again, like both of them are pretty easy and straightforward. So that's really all we need to know about Leaf and like PHP for right now. So I'm going to close all these, get rid of that. I'm going to close this because I'll just end up Googling things. We don't need Go. But what we do need is our SDK stuff. So let's go into our docs here and head over to SDKs. Oh, and if you haven't been in docs recently, we have this Ask AI like for DevCycle docs. It's powered by Kappa AI, so very cool platform. You can like ask questions. So if you don't really want to go and search for things, you can ask the question in here. I'm not going to, just because I want to actually look through the documentation, but I'm going to go down here. Server-side SDKs. Where are you hiding? PHP? Boom. All right. So let's install our SDK. All right. So we got it here. Let's go. Let's go install this. Let's require it. Let's get our PHP SDK stuff in there. You can like add this stuff. Yeah, and there's some extra steps in here. But really all you need to know for this is grab whatever that name is. So it's just the DevCycle PHP server SDK. And then we're going to head back over to here. And I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. There we go. Let's open a new terminal. All right, sick. And let's go Composer. I'm going to zoom in here. This is too small. Whoa, that's too big. All right, Composer, require, and let's go DevCycle PHP Server SDK. I might be in the wrong folder. Am I? Did I install this in the wrong place? I did install it in the wrong place. Bro, what are you doing? Need to, let's delete this stuff. All right, let's install it in the right place now. Aha, success. All right, let's try this again. Hey, there we go. All right, so now we've got our SDK installed. It was that easy, super like one line. And especially in a framework like this, where like we're having like the Composer stuff automatically dealt with. And so interestingly, in PHP, like if you're not using a framework, you would often need to add, let's see if I can find it in here. You're going to need to add like this require directory vendor autoload. And then that goes into your vendor folder and grabs this autoload, which basically says like use things that are inside of this vendor folder. Again, most frameworks, and I mean, I would say most PHP developers are like using a framework, but let's be honest, it's definitely a language that cries out for a framework, are using this. And so even in the docs, oh, I'm opening the wrong, oh no, I didn't open the wrong thing. Even in the docs, why am I not seeing, there we go. Even in the docs, it talks about this, right? So like this require once path to the vendor stuff. So don't, but again, most of the time when you're doing this, most frameworks, like most PHP developers out there are like using Laravel or are using Slim or using Symfony. Like that step is going to be done. So don't worry about it so much. So here's the extra step. So like this is the sort of like, let's get the PHP ready to go. So it is like technically our PHP SDK is in there and ready to go. However, we do need this local bucketing proxy, and that's just to do with like lifecycle and state management stuff. And thankfully, I connected with the person who'd been working on this, one of them, Rob, yesterday, because I was having some challenges getting this set up. And so I can kind of show you. But the moral of this story is, as always, read the freaking docs. But let's go in here. And so I need to actually go and get this local bucketing proxy. Yeah. And all right, let's log in here. Oh, I'm going to not do that. All right, let's close that for a second. And I'm going to unshare this for a second just so I can log in and do this stuff. Of course, it has logged me out today. Of course. But it's all right. We're going to get there. We're going to get through it. And success. All right, let's get it back up there. All right, here we go. So why is my GitHub in light mode? This makes my eyes burn. Where do you change appearance? Sync with system. I suppose this is my own fault. Single theme. Dark. Ooh. Dark default. Dark dimmed. I like dark dimmed. Let's go with that. Okay, let's go back to where we started. All right, so first off, we need to grab our local bucketing proxy. So again, you can find this DevCycle HQ local bucketing proxy, and you can get all the information that you need here. And you can get all the information, all of the things here. And again, this is kind of outlined in the SDK installation stuff, and it walks you through here. But what we're going to do is, first things first, back over in VS Code, which is now hidden away. Come on, VS Code. We're going to create a folder in our skeleton that is new folder. We're going to call this our proxy folder. And this is where we're actually going to install stuff. All right, let's go. By the way, do you guys like the music, or should I change to a different track? I feel like this is good, but we're gonna, what else do we have here? Well, I'm getting this figured into space. No. Ooh. Nope. Definitely staying on daydreaming. Chat, you're very quiet today. Y'all can come in and speak. Connect with me. I'm here for you. All right, where are we going here? Oh, bucketing project. All right, we need to download this. So let's go here to V1. Look at that, last week. And let's go ARM. I think this was the one that I need, our ARM64. I actually downloaded this yesterday, so I'm pretty sure that it's actually here on my device. And I'm just gonna drag this over. Let's get rid of that again. I'm just gonna like drag and drop. You're not seeing this because you're not seeing my screen. Oh, are you seeing my screen? Yes, you're seeing my screen, but not that one. All right. I do enjoy that live streaming, especially in this way, is very much just you talking to yourself for an hour while other people watch you talk to yourself, which I'm kind of here for. Okay. LS proxy. All right, so here's where I made my mistake last time, because I had tried to just like add an end file and like it didn't work. So I had been recommended to do, so we got a DevCycle local bucketing proxy. C. Oh, what did I call the? Let me see over here. What did I end up calling the file? Let's go documents. You really can't do this live streaming thing without multiple screens. What did I end up calling it? App proxy. There we go. C. All right, let's go full screen on this. And let's get our terminal a little bit bigger because we're not looking at anything up there anyways. C, and then I was going local bucketing config.json. All right. All right, what happened? What happened? Did it create it? Flag provided, but not. Did we do it? Let's see. I feel like we did. I think this is what happened last time. Skeleton, let's see. Proxy. No, it didn't create it. What was our challenge? I did this yesterday. What was our challenge? We did actually create it. How did we do it? I feel like it was /C. Yeah, I don't want to worry about that. Application bigger path to JSON file. I thought that this created it for me. All right, I need to check something really quickly. I definitely got this walkthrough yesterday of exactly what I needed to do to get this up. And I feel like I'm just missing one thing. Let's see if we can find it. Just gonna look it up on here. Ooh, what was it? Rob had saved the day yesterday. Oh, it's because I went /C instead of -config. That's on me. All right. All right. Success. All right, here we go. Amazing. So that's basically the two commands you need to do to get this set up. So just like download, set it up, and then grab, and then like if you just do config and then put that JSON name in there, it's going to create it if it doesn't already exist. And the nice thing is it's going to create it with all the information that you need in here, except for our SDK key, which is blank right here. And so we're actually going to need to grab that from over on DevCycle. All right. I need to pull up chat on the second screen now so I can see you. Music's pretty quiet. I want it louder. I want it to be nice. I want you all to be able to hear this as I'm talking to myself. There we go. That should be better. Fade tracks in and out. Look at you. StreamYard is killing. All right, let's go here and let's get, why did I close that down? All right, let's close this. Actually, we're gonna need this, and we're gonna need this. But we need our SDK key first. So let's load this up and boom. All right, so let's head over to DevCycle. And you can see here, like in this, it actually walks you through exactly what you need. So at minimum, you're gonna need to set the proxy SDK key, which we're gonna do in the in that config file that we just set up. So let's go over to DevCycle and I'm gonna create a new project. Ooh, that's a little preview there. And we're gonna call this one, my project does it toggle. Question mark? Can I put question marks in there? I can, but it doesn't show up in my key. Sorry, I'm gonna call it that. And all right, Andrew's projects for does it toggle stream. Great project. Oh, color, I'm a big purple fan. Let's go purple, great project. We're gonna leave all those things set there. And I'm actually gonna go in and set something up that I haven't turned on in my settings, which is early access to streamer mode. And I think like some of these are now default in the platform, but I'm gonna turn on streamer mode. And again, this doesn't really make a difference for you. It just kind of hides things that we don't want to be seen. Amazing. So we got does it toggle set up here. So we are going to create our first feature, which I'm going to call landing page. Let's call it a release feature. We're going to call this landing page. I don't give you a description or keys. It's creating, this is good. I want it to be a Boolean. So we're going to create that. Awesome. But what I really needed here was my SDK key for my server. So there's a couple of places we can get that. Like I can get my server keys and all that from down here, but there is actually this awesome setting in here. So if you go view API keys, you can actually get a lot of this stuff in here for your project. And so I'm just going to grab it from here. So I'm going to copy that. All right. Yeah, and you can see that's there. Then let's go back over to our file here. All right, and let's throw our SDK key in there. Oh, and I will show you actually, before we do that, I'll just show you what happens if we don't have that SDK key in there. Let's just delete all of this stuff. So we're just gonna get this, like basically we don't have the SDK key. So if we have the SDK key, we're gonna get this, put that in there, and then do the same thing again. Oh, I need to save, that would help. All right, let's go. Targeting proxy. SDK key missing value. Oh, did I put it in the wrong? I did put it in the wrong spot. That will teach me where you hiding SDK key. There we go. Perfect. All right, let's try this again. SDK key is missing value. All right. Do I not have it in the right spot? SDK key. Spectacular. That is there. That is definitely in the right spot. All right. Let's try this again. Oh, what did I have to do the second time? All right, let's try this again. Just look at comments too. See what's going on over here. Local bucketing config. Oh, I don't want to write a second one. Delete. Success. Okay, there we go. Right. So like now basically I just needed to tell it. So an extra step that I totally had forgotten about yesterday, but now now we have our proxy that's running. So that step is complete. And now we can actually move on and things. So again, like I said, this is like obviously getting that framework set up really easy with DevCycle so that we can ensure that like the real-time change, well, ultimately as real-time as we can get them, changes are happening. We need to set up this proxy. You will see, you're not going to know or have to deal with this a lot as we go through what's going on, but it's also good because we'll be able to see a lot of the interactions that's going on with the DevCycle platform, which I kind of liked. But yeah, we're just going to kind of forget about that for right now. So we've got both of these running. We're going to head back over to the docs. All right. So we've got our stuff working over here. That is all good. And then the last thing that's here is this like sort of step here PHP SDK configuration. So this is actually going to appear on the next section as well in like our getting started, but it's a little bit different and it just needs to be updated in the docs. So I'm just going to copy that for right now. So you'll see it's kind of referenced here, but it's missing one other piece. And so we're going to, I'm going to show you how this applies in just a second. But first things first is we actually need to go back to our VS Code and figure out where the heck are we going to put all of this code. So again, most frameworks that you're using in PHP are going to be very similar. If you were doing this in just like vanilla PHP, like no frameworks, everything is basically just going to appear in this like index.php file. And so like everything would go into here. For us, because we've got a couple of extra layers, and in fact, like our index.php is not actually our index.php. Really, there's a bunch of index.php files all over the place. So don't put it in here. So if you are doing this on Leaf, which is obviously our doesn't toggle today, don't put it in here. That is sort of the moral of this story. So let's go and put it where it should actually go. So it's not going to go there because we're actually referencing some other areas in here in our controllers, or not controllers, sorry, our routes. And that's where we're going to put it. So we're not going to put it in apps. We're going to put it in our index. Are we going to put it in our index.php, or are we going to put it in, I think we're going to put it in our underscore app. So I could technically put it in here, but then like when we're dealing with variables and stuff like that, it's actually just a lot easier to put it in the routes. Just the way that this is working, because there's routing that's set up here. It's just actually easier to put it in the routes. And again, is that best practices? I don't know. The question here is not, does it toggle best practices edition? It is just, does it toggle? And the answer is yes, I think, but it toggles if we put it in the routes. So let's go in here and let's kind of go through our process here. And first off, I'm going to delete these tests areas because I don't need them. Who needs tests? maybe. All right, and yeah, just by the way, this is where this MVC is actually sending things to. So that index.html is this right here, which is in the pages. And so this is actually what we're seeing. This is actually what we're seeing. Oh, I did the skeleton instead of the MVC. And so now I'm going to need to add Blade back into this. That's all right. We're going to add Blade back into it. Everything is going to be fine. Because I want to use Blade because raw PHP is not fun. Yeah, we're going to add Blade back into here. Okay, this is going to make more sense. So Blade is a templating language that was developed by Laravel, but is like just really smooth and actually makes the development process a lot easier, I would say, when you're like kind of putting PHP into HTML. So we're not going to worry about that right now. But we are going to worry about is getting this set up. And so you can see here, we've got our DevCycle configuration stuff that's in here, but we need to set our DVC server key, and then we've got this env. And so I should have my m file here, and I'm going to go add to the bottom. Let's go app server key. Let's add this here, equals, and I'm going to go grab that server key from over here. And we're just focusing on development here. So, okay, there we go. Don't worry about that. And saved here. And now if I do a DD, just so we can see what this looks like, I just want to show you. So DD is just like, if you want to kind of see, get a preview. I don't even know what it actually stands for. I wonder what it stands for. Is it not defined in here? DD definitely exists in here. I think that this is going to work. So we're going to see. Maybe I'm wrong. Oh, all right. DD does not work in here. How is DD not defined? How is DD not defined? That's all right. We'll echo it then. That's fine. I think this will work. Localhost couldn't be converted to string. All right, we're gonna ignore that. As I said, this is watch Andrew struggle live on stream as well. What am I gonna do? All right, I'm gonna move some of this stuff. I'm gonna ignore the skeleton. I forgot that the skeleton is like really, really basic. I totally spaced on that fact. So let's go and add the MVC, which is what I'd originally intended and what I practiced with yesterday. So let's go back to Leaf SDK PHP. Because I know DD was working in here before. Let's go MVC, get started. Leaf create. All right, there we go. Leaf's MVC. Let's go. Where are we hiding? Paste. Okay, let's add the MVC. There we go. All right, this I feel like I'm going to be much happier with. Yeah, see, like just a little bit more. It's still very light. And like, if you look at the structure between these, like it's very, very similar. There's just a couple of things that are added that are extra in the MVC that aren't in the skeleton. But technically the skeleton is like an MVC framework. So you can use that, but I'm going to remove the proxy stuff. I'm going to stop it for a second. Stop. Control C, there we go. I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to delete that for a second. And we're actually going to pull the proxy over from skeleton into MVC, proxy into MVC, move. All right, and then I'm going to shut down in here. All right, and let's cd MVC. Okay, I think we should be seeing the same thing over here. Oh, but I need to turn on the proxy on the other one though. in here. No, cd cd MVC, cd proxy, and then proxy. All right, and then we're going to do DevCycle local bucketing. Let's copy that. Bucketing proxy dash config, and then local bucketing config. All right, this should run, question mark. There we go. Perfect. All right, so that's all back up and running, and now we're just not in skeleton anymore. We are in the MVC, and I'm just going to steal this from our skeleton, and then we're going to ignore that the skeleton ever existed. We're also going to need to copy from that M file. So we're going to go back over here into our app and routes and app, and here we go. All right, let's pop that over there, and then we need to grab our SDK key and put that in our other M file. So ignore, don't save. We're going to put it in this M file, and I'm going to save that and save that. And then I'm going to call this other one evil. I'm going to call this dead. Maybe I'll put rename. I will call it, let's go skeleton. Can I get it on here? Can I alt? No, it's not that. Are you not letting me do this? There we go, skeleton. Oh. Actually ensure that, oh, you can't do that. All right, well, c'est la vie. We're not going to focus on skeleton anymore. That's the moral of this story. And we've got that M file saved. Now we're going to try DD. Do we get DD over here? Why can I not type? What am I getting? What have I done? Open something. This. There we go. All right, let's go here. Spectacular. All right, let's go DD. Oh, sick. All right, DD is working here now. So let's make sure this is working. Why am I getting the same thing here? I swear to you, this was working yesterday. Of course, it worked in local. It's always what people claim. Okay. Oh, I see. It's just not finding the DevCycle configuration stuff now. Okay. Let's go back over here. All right, save that, maybe? Question mark. You know why? It's because I need to reinstall the SDK over here. That'd be smart. Let's grab this again. I knew there was something I needed to do. Because we changed projects. Changed frameworks midstream. CDMVC. Paste. Let's try this again. Ha! Success. All right, DD is working. I don't know why it's not. I think there's an issue with IntelliSense with this. I think that's my major problem. But yeah, so we can see here, so we are getting information from DevCycle with our authorization API keys. All of the stuff that we need, we are getting here. It's grabbing all of the stuff that we need. The other thing, and I think this is covered here in the SDK, yeah, so when we're setting the host in this config, like that needs to be set up to whatever your proxy port is. So if you're not running on 8080, then you need to change that to whatever it is. So getting started. Awesome. So we got this config in here. API instance, let's copy all of this stuff. Perfect. And head back over here. And again, keep in mind that like this won't work anymore, I don't think. Yeah, I don't think it's going to work. We'll see though. Let's see. Maybe it works. See if I'm proven wrong. But I don't think it'll work. No better time to find it than live on stream. Oh no, it does work. It just goes and grabs that bucketing API. So this is just like if you're using our cloud bucketing, but we're not going to worry about that right now. Wonderful. Localhost again. Beautiful. Okay, so not that. There we go. Awesome. So we got that. I'm going to get rid of that DD and copy all of this stuff over here, and then we're going to look at it. So we've got our configuration. We're set up here for our local bucketing. Grabbing our API instance. Yeah, you can see here there's some documentation in here, but it's just using Guzzle as kind of our default. Our user data, I'm actually going to put me, Andrew, at DevCycle.com. I'm actually going to set this as, oh, there's my user ID. Yeah, let's have that as my user ID because maybe that might be there. And then you can see we've got this here where we're like doing a try and catch. For today, even though that's best practices, we're not going to do that. We are going to go in here and we're going to pull that result out of here. And we're going to do another DD for our result. So print R is good, but then it ends up just looking kind of ugly on the screen. So we're going to DD that instead of print R, even though it says we can't DD it. Oh, I don't understand. I don't understand until offense. I don't understand. What does DD stand for? This I need to know. What does DD stand for in PHP? Dump and die. Success. Okay, so back over here. There we go. So you can see here, so we're pulling all of our features. And if I had multiple features in here, so I'm actually going to create another feature over on DevCycle. So let's go back into Does It Toggle features. We got a landing page feature here. Whoa, I'm going to create another feature just so I can show you. We're going to create another feature called, I don't know, maybe this will be like profile page. Maybe this will be for the future. Create this and it's going to bring us over there. But if I refresh over here in just a second, it should pull both of those features. And you can see here, if we look at that landing page, we've got sort of like our IDs, our keys, our types, variation that our user is going to be seeing there. And all of that is pulled from here. So basically, we're getting our user data. Again, you can pull this from models or from DevCycle. So we can pull that. And then we've got all features. And then we're pulling our result here. I think it should update in just a second. I think we should get our second feature in here. There we go. So our profile page feature is now in there. And you can see that our user for this is both variation on. And I'm going to show you kind of just like really easily how to turn these off just to make sure that it's working and things are communicating in the right way. So get over to development. I'm going to change back to my profile, not profile page, features landing page. And let's set this for all users here to be variation off, save. And it's probably going to take a second. For this to update. We should be seeing variation off for everybody. It'll take a second. That should be showing up in our result. Variation on. There we go, variation off. Awesome. So you see here our variation key. So it is speaking. We are getting it. It's not just going default. We're getting all the features in there, and it should be off for one and on for the other. Fantastic. Excuse me. Again, I'm looking on my other screen and I'm realizing that you can't really see that. So you can see here, we've got our variations, our IDs, and you can see here variation on for profile page, variation off for our landing page, because we just set that over here on DevCycle. But as you can imagine, we don't necessarily want to grab all features all the time. This is like useful, but we don't necessarily want to grab that for our user. What we often want to do is grab just a specific variable and value. So I'm going to create a new variable in here. And I'm going to get rid of that DD first because it's going to be important for us. Let's get rid of that. Save. All right, let's call this Beautiful. Let's create 2 variables in here. Let's create one for Twitter and one for YouTube that'll just turn these off or on, depending on our user. So let's head over to development here. So we've got our landing page Boolean that we already have there. I can eventually get rid of that, but I'm going to go and add just a Twitter. Awesome. Variation on is true. Variation off is false. Just a Boolean. Awesome. All right, and I'm actually going to create another. I didn't do this yesterday, but I'm going to do it today. YouTube, and I'm actually going to set this one up as a string, and variation on will be. Let's go DevCycle. I think it's DevCycle. So https:/devcycle. Oh no, YouTube.com. YouTube.com/DevCycle HQ. I think this will come to us. I think this is it, or it needs to be channel. C/DevCycle. Is it just DevCycle? DevCycle YouTube. Ooh, that's our YouTube. Yeah, I thought it was DevCycle HQ. Whoa, ignore that. I'm just going to grab this. I know we have a quick link, but I cannot remember what it is for the life of me right now. And I'm actually going to create a link for that one. So this will actually end up being a link. So variation on is going to be our YouTube channel, and variation off is just going to be the youtube.com. Add variable. Beautiful. All right. So we've got our Twitter, we've got our targeting rules, and I want to set all of them to be off for all users. So let's go all users, variation off, which I've already got it set as, which is perfect. And then I'm going to head back over to VS Code, and we're going to grab what we needed from our docs here. So let's go get all variables, get all features. We already did that. Tracking events, we're not worried about that today. Let's get use by vary and key. Awesome. So this is what we need. All right, let's grab that here. So again, this is for all features that we want. We want to just get variable value for a user. So we're going to use user data. My key here is going to be Twitter for the first one. And then I'm going to set my default to be false, just in case there's an issue with things not talking correctly and not false in brackets. We're going to set to false that way. So let's just, and we're going to rename this instead of Twitter. We're going to name this Twitter. There we go. Awesome. And so because all users should be false, actually, I'm going to set this to our default just to show that it's working. Just going to call this potato or bird, maybe that's better. Bird. All right. And BD Twitter. So if it's not connected at all, we should see bird. If it is working, we should see the variable value off with this DD. So let's go over here and head back over to keep like close. There we go. So we should be seeing a DD here, and we should be seeing bird. So there is no connection here right now. That's not ideal. Let's go false. So we've got user ID, Andrew at DevCycle.com. There we go. Let's change that to false now. All right. Make sure that's the right key that I set up in here. Yeah, landing pages, right? All right. Oh, that's probably why. It's capitalized. Variable key is Twitter with a capital T. See if it gets it this time. I have a feeling that this is going to be the same as before. It's going to take just a minute to actually grab this. Yeah, make sure this is right here as well. API instance, variable value, user data, awesome, Twitter, bird. Oh, don't move that out. Oh, no, I shouldn't be getting an error there. So we should actually be getting our value for that one. Variation on, all users should be getting off for this. Variable key is Twitter there. Yeah, so that should be right. Where are we hiding here? Let's see what's going on here. API instance, user data, Twitter, bird. I'm just gonna set this to false. So it's getting false. Something's going on. Let's see, maybe something's going on over in proxy. We're getting 400 errors over here. That's why. The question is, why? What did I do yesterday that had this working? Let me check my code from yesterday. All right, documents, let's go DevCycle, not that one, let's go this one. And then what did we do here yesterday? We were in routes, we were in app.php, which is where we are here. Let's open this with Sublime Text. Ooh, Sublime Text. All right, user data, all features, variable value, user data, Twitter API instance. That's right, that's right. No, that's right. So we should be good there. I should be grabbing the SDK key from here. Yes, that's right. This is all good. This is all good. This is all good. All features. Yes, that's good. API instance. Let's make sure this is right. Twitter lowercase. But we're still getting a 400 error. Wonder why that is. Why are we getting a 400 error? Did I grab the wrong server key? Let's see if I did. Oh, that would make sense. I didn't save. Oh, bet you that's all going to be gone now. Yeah, 100%. 100%. That was a dumb decision by me. All right, let's create this Twitter one and get it working. That is just Bush League. Bush League. All right, I want to call this lowercase Twitter because I don't want to be worrying about that. Create Twitter, add variable. All right. Maybe now we save and this will work. Dang. All right. So that was rough. That was rough to watch. See if it's working now. Definitely it's going to take a minute to grab this stuff again. Twitter, make sure that I actually saved it this time. Twitter, all lowercase, Boolean, true, yes. Make sure that's still there. All right, chat, where were you? Where were you with that one? I guess I'm the PHP developer here, so should be getting off there for all users. Have the Twitter Boolean key. Should be seeing that now. Should be seeing false there. Maybe I'm going to check and see if all variables are actually there first. So there's actually in the documentation, there's like grab all variables. Yeah, get all variables. I'm going to get all variables and see what's going on. Because I feel like there's something's up. It's just not seeing it yet. Okay. Yeah, so we have the Twitter variable there. So it's definitely like the variable is there. I've got what it should be. So the value, that's why, because it is actually false. I tell you, man, I don't know what's going on with me today. So I'm going to change that to bird again, and then we should be seeing false, not bird. And I'll tell if it's working. Twitter. Why are you not seeing it? Why are you not seeing this? API instance, variable, Twitter bird. Got the right. We are seeing Twitter. We are seeing Twitter. We shouldn't be seeing bird. The struggle is real, but not a struggle with DevCycle. This is 100% a struggle with Andrew. All right, let's go in here and maybe I should just change that. ED Twitter, and I'm actually just going to set up in here to add our variables in here. So there's my Sublime there. Open with Sublime. All right, so this is basically what I need. All right, let's grab our use statement, and we're just going to use, we don't have user data. Maybe we'll remove YouTube for right now. All right, and our index, and then let's grab Twitter. Oh, look at that. Thank you. So I'm using, by the way, I'm using, what is it called? Copilot. And so it makes my life a lot easier. All right. And I'm going to get rid of this for a second because maybe it's all sorted itself out. And I'm going to set this as my default as false still. All right. So, oh, I remember why. Because it's not serving this variable. Oh, Andrew, you are so dumb because it doesn't serve it if you're not seeing it. All right, so let's go back into our, so basically what we've done here is we're sending the Twitter and user data over to our Blade file in our views. And the nice thing here over in the Blade is if I want to print, instead of this H4, I'm actually going to just cancel that out. And I'm going to put in here in Blade, let's call this user ID. Awesome. So now, because I removed that DD, should undefined variable user ID. What did I define that as in my code? Oh, user data is what I defined it as in mine. User data, user ID. All right. User data. There we go. So we're getting some user data there. And maybe I just want to grab the user ID. I think I can just do user ID. I have to do user ID. There we go. Awesome. So you can see there that we're getting some communication, at least from sort of where we want to have communication from. But now I'm going to get rid of this. And now we want to hide the Twitter if Twitter is not enabled. So let's head down to Twitter here. Where's Twitter? And we're going to wrap this whole section in an if statement. So if Twitter and if, and that's right there. And if. So basically here, we're saying that, as I'm sure that you have been able to figure out, we're basically saying if that Twitter is enabled, we should be seeing the Twitter. If it's not enabled, we shouldn't. So let's head back over to here. And so you can see Twitter is gone over here. So we can head over here, and that's because our variation is set for all users to off. But now I want to set a targeting rule that will allow Andrew only. So I want to allow this to serve, I want it to serve me on, and my definition is user ID contains DevCycle. All right. So again, always click save. That was my first mistake. So I'm going to move this targeting rule above. So basically, I should be seeing this as on, and everybody else should be seeing it as off. That YouTube link, we head over here. All right, we're going to give it a second, and then we should just make sure that I set that the right way. So Andrew, variation on, user ID contains DevCycle. Awesome. All users should be seeing it as off afterwards. That targeting is on. I put it in development. Let's see if we are seeing it over here. Let's see what's going on in our code. So we should be seeing if Twitter app. So I think if I DD here again, Twitter, I should be false here still for some reason, so I'm not sure. But I think if I do my result and I go all variables, I'm gonna get that this works. It's my all variables. So it's still showing up as off for me. Let's get rid of this rule here. Save. So it is seeing our Twitter array key. We got our ID, our key. Awesome. So let's make sure that everything is right as it should be in here. So we're grabbing our user, our Twitter, our default variable, Andrew at devcycle.com is our user. That's all spelled right. So that's good. So let's go here. Ah, there we go. All right. So we got it working. Let's now head over here, delete that. We should be getting our Twitter in there. And if we refresh this page, haha, success. We have Twitter. Let's turn off our targeting rule or switch our targeting rule and do, instead of all users, that was my issue. So all users, let's go name, user ID does not contain DevCycle. That will be our rule because I feel like that all users went through me, not Andrew. Add definition, serve off. Awesome. Let's save that. Haha, success. So we got our Andrew only, our not Andrew. So this should still be working. And if I go into my code here and change this to @test.com, should be seeing, success. So you can see here that we are getting the right setup here. So we've got our information coming in from the DevCycle through our PHP SDK, and we're able to turn that off. And now, again, like I was trying to show you before, we can actually add string variables in here too. It's called this one YouTube. And like I said, this is a string variable, and I'm going to set this to the DevCycle YouTube channel. YouTube. All right, let's grab this URL. It's yelling at me. All right, and let's set the variation on is that, and variation off is just plain old YouTube. Add variable. Awesome. All right, so let's go over here, back to our code. All right, so let's set this up for me again so that we've got devcycle.com. Nice. Devcycle.com, and let's grab our YouTube in here. YouTube. Awesome. And our default is going to be just youtube.com in here. So unlike false, we're actually going to do a string in here. Beautiful. All right. So we got our YouTube variable there, and we need to add YouTube to here. So YouTube. Whoa, that's not the right spelling. Equals YouTube. Oh my goodness. This is definitely a Friday. All right. Does this work? YouTube. Did we name this YouTube up here? We did name this YouTube. It's because I don't have it in my use. Hold on a second. All right, let's add this in. Success. All right. So we should have YouTube that we can use in our blade. And so we've got our YouTube here. So we actually want this to be YouTube. Oh, okay. All right. So if this is turned on, I actually want it to go to, let's do 3 different YouTube settings. Let's go YouTube, the Taplytics. Taplytics have a YouTube channel? Taplytics? Ooh, Taplytics does. Let's grab this. So our default, if nothing works, I actually want it to go to the Taplytics. There we go. So if our SDK is not speaking to our app, we're going to see the Taplytics website. If it's set to, I think it's set to false, question mark? Yep, it's set to false. We're going to get just plain youtube.com. And then if it's a variation on, we're going to get our website. And I want this to be Andrew on, variation on. So I should be seeing, for me, I should be seeing the Twitter and I should be seeing the DevCycle YouTube page. So let's head back over here. Let's refresh here. So I should be seeing Twitter, which is good. And I'm seeing Taplytics there right now. So let's make sure I've got everything right in here. YouTube here. Yeah, variation on. Let's see if I changed, did I change my devcycle.com? Nope, that's right. Awesome, awesome. So that should be that. Awesome. All right, let's just double check that this is working. DD YouTube. Are you not working? Why are you not? Oh, because I didn't save. Name of the game is, oh, there we go. All right, so it is grabbing the Taplytics. So our user data, variable value, Taplytics. Let's make sure, are we getting more? So we're getting 200 and then we're getting 404. We're getting 404 on our YouTube variables right now. So that's why. Let's make sure that grabbing all of them. Let's grab all features, but we want to grab all variables. Let's try result again. Make sure that we are in fact seeing 3. We're seeing Twitter ads because we're not seeing YouTube yet. You know why? Because I didn't freaking click save again. Holy moly. You'd think that I would have learned after the first time. Let's go back over here. We should now be seeing it. Just a second. It'll probably take a second for that to update, but making sure that that is in fact there. There we go. YouTube showing up there. Awesome. There we go. That's what we wanted to be seeing. Just click save, ladies and gentlemen. Click save. That is the moral of the story today, is click the save button. Awesome. So now we should be seeing the DevCycle, awesome, YouTube channel. We are seeing Twitter here. And that is proof today, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, folks of all ages, that we can in fact toggle Leaf fairly easily. I would say this was definitely like a user error and like a me never using DevCycle really in production and not saving a lot of things, but this and I mean we've got a lot of things that we probably are good practice having here, like these try and catch statements with errors. We're not really worrying about that right now. I really do encourage DD. Like I think that dump and die is really good. You can print too, which is useful. So like if we do you can see like this print R statement here. So like if we print R, it'll actually give us all of this stuff over in the preview screen. Oh, I should have gone full screen with that. There we go. So now we'll actually get all this information on the screen, which is like fine. But honestly, I would say at the end of the day, like not really how it's easy. Like it's not easy to see, right? It's much easier if you do dump or die. So I very much use that in my day. Oh, close Asana. All right, close. I very much use DD in my daily life. I think like this. I think this is just much more. It's much easier to read, right? Like I want to see this array. I want to be able to see all this data, but I don't need to see it in the other way. So, yeah. So our question for today: does it toggle? Does DevCycle toggle with Leaf PHP. And I think while the does Andrew toggle is questionable right now, the answer of does DevCycle toggle is definitely or does Leaf PHP toggle with DevCycle? I think the answer is yes. And again, just to prove this, let's change this to a non-DevCycle email. Let's change this to hello.com. And we'll see that our Twitter is gone and our YouTube channel is back to plain YouTube. So if this was not working at all, it'd be going to Tablytics. And if it is, it's going here to YouTube. So that tells us that our SDK is working and live. And you can see here, actually, if we want to switch it, so things are a little bit different. Maybe I want to serve the variation off to me. Let's save that over here. It'll take a second after I save this to work. I'm going to close that. I'm going to close that. And oh, that's right, because I have that set to variation off for both of them. So let's say the Andrew only is, or the not Andrew is now variation on. It'll take a minute, just all of the refreshes. I'll just continually click refresh. No, I should just wait. I think I updated that the right way. Andrew only, not Andrew. Does not contain. Should be getting variation on. So we should be seeing Twitter. There we go. And thus it worked. So I think that's it for so powerful. Thank you, Carmelo. So I think that is I think that's actually we've gotten through far enough. I wonder, maybe there's something else to look at in here just before we before we break. I want to break at like 11:30, so like 2 or 3 more minutes here. But let's see, any other things that are interesting. I mean, the code sample. So we were looking through in like the docs, like actually all of this stuff is here. So if I actually had just gone PHP here in like the code sample page, I actually could have gotten all of the things that I needed here right from here. I like having the docs open just in separate tabs. So I think that was useful. And I really would say like this proxy is really helpful for showing you where there's like bugs and stuff that are coming up. Like this is really, really useful just for me to get an idea, because that gave me an idea of things that I had done wrong, like where it's not finding a variable, but like super, super powerful. Hey, sorry, Gamer-esque. Unfortunately, I don't have a great idea for you. I'm sorry, my friend. Yeah. So with all of that, with all that said, and kind of looking into all these things, we've been here for about an hour and a half. I think everybody wants to go and enjoy the rest of their Friday afternoon, depending on where you are, or Friday morning if you're here on the West Coast. So again, I'm Andrew, developer advocate at DevCycle, feature flagging platform, feature flag management platform that's really focused on making your life easier as a developer. And today we were looking at how does DevCycle integrate into Leaf PHP. And although it took us a little while, we got there. And I appreciate y'all for sticking around with me as we've kind of gone through this process today. Also realizing I probably should have been in like literally in this view the entire day, so our screen was a little bit bigger, but I am okay that I was not here at least. And I suppose this is not terrible for us. So with all that said, thank you everybody for tuning in. We'll be back in 2 weeks, hard to believe 2 weeks, with another episode of Feature Focus, where we're going to be joined by Dan, our new product marketing manager. And he's going to be introducing himself on that stream. And then I'll be back here with another Does It Toggle next month, I want to say, but maybe sooner than that. We'll be exploring some other programming languages. So thank you so much to everybody for tuning in today. I hope that you enjoyed the stream. Hope you got something out of it, and looking forward to seeing you around the DevCycle community and here on the DevCycle Twitch channel. So have a wonderful rest of your day, everybody, and we will see you around the internet. Bye-bye.